What is up? Today I'm going to be talking about a little subset that I've created called JSS, obviously named after myself because I have zero shame. JSS stands for me, so J, second slot. So it's a technique you use on second slot, and the goal of JSS is to just give you more situations where you can do F2 gen, F prime type stuff. This will work best if you know how to do the FL cases. So if you don't know how to do that already, I have a PDF somewhere online. I might already have videos about how to do the FL cases. I don't know how I want to schedule all this, but let's get into it. So JSS, it's on second slot. More specifically, it's when you're solving front right and the back left pair is already solved. Now with the FL cases, it doesn't really matter if the edge is oriented for RU solving or not, but if you're trying to multi-slot with the back right and the front left, then you do want the back right edge to be oriented. So what you're doing is when you have a built pair like this, you're going to be inserting it such that you don't completely solve the block, so it'll be on the left like this in kind of a pseudo position, and the edge that belongs in BR, so in this case the orange and blue edge for all four of the cubes, will be oriented. And there are four types of cases you can have. You can have the edge stuck in the front right, you can have the edge stuck in the back right, you can have the edge stuck in the front left, or you can have the edge in the U layer somewhere. So I'll start with the one where the edge is in the U layer because it's pretty easy to explain. If it's misoriented, and the way you would recognize is, oops, that's the wrong edge, and that's oriented. Alright. So the way you recognize the edge is misoriented, so again, blue, orange edge for all of these examples because that's what's going to go into back right for all of these. You'll kind of notice that these two colors on top are adjacent. So if it's flipped, what you want to do is you want to solve this pair with R'FR. That's what you want to do for pretty much all of these cases with a slight variant. But to flip this edge, you want to move it here. So in this case, it'd be R'U2' FR, and then you solve that. Or if the edge was over here, you would do R'U' FR. And then if the edge was in the front, then you're good to go. You can just do R'FR. And then if it's oriented, it's basically the reverse of that. So if it's in the back and it's oriented, R'FR, good to go. If it's on the left and it's oriented, so opposites, R'FR, good to go. And then if it's in the front, you want to do R'U' FR. And then it'll stay oriented. You could also do R'U' FR, which is slightly easier to finger trick. However, because that solves the edge into the back right, I don't really recommend that. I think R'U' FR is a little better. So that's how you deal with the edge being in the U layer, basically, if it's misoriented. Start doing the R'FR, but use a U-turn to move it here. And then if it is already oriented the way you want, then you do the opposite. You just make sure the edge is not there. So that's how you deal with these cases, and then from there, just do some F2 gen F prime, and you're good. Now, what if the edge is stuck in the front left? And I'll make sure I talk about the front right cases next because they're very similar. But when it's in the front left, there's two types of cases. It'll either be like this with adjacent colors, or it'll be like this with opposite colors. If you've got opposite colors, R'FR isn't going to work. So what you do instead, R prime, F2, R, F prime, and then you'll have a 2-gen pair. And then if it's the opposite of that, R'FR works, and then you can just continue. So to reiterate, opposite colors, R prime, F2, R, F prime, and then adjacent, just do it like normal, and then do your F2 gen, F prime finish for the remaining pairs. Now if it's in the front right, so the orange-blue edge is now here, same idea, except this time if you have the opposite colors, or in this case a matching on the right, R'FR will work, and now you have a 2-gen pair, although this case isn't particularly great, but that's a topic for another day. And then if it is flipped, like this, so adjacent colors, then you want to again do R prime, F2, R, F prime, and then do a 2-gen pair. So those are the two cases for that one. I'm getting really lucky on these, by the way. F2 gen F prime is, it's good, but it's not normally that good. And finally, you can have the edge stuck in the back right like this. And if it's solved, then you are good to go. You can just do R'FR and solve this with 2-gen. Or alternatively, if you want to move the edge to the U layer, you can do R'U' FR or you could do R prime F, U prime R. Both of those work. Basically, just before you finish the R prime F R, you could do a U prime somewhere in the middle. And then if the edge is flipped like this, can't do R prime F R, doesn't work. Got to do R prime U, again bringing it to this front position so that the F R will flip it. And that is how you deal with the edge being stuck in back right. That was another lucky one, by the way. So just to reiterate, this is JSS, J second slot. Anytime you have an F12 case that sets up into a built pair like this, and ideally you'll have this back left slot solved as well. You can technically do this when that's not the case, however you run the risk of not actually being able to complete the solution because of pieces being stuck here. So really my vision for this method is you solve first slot and back left, which shouldn't even be uncommon. You do JSS if you can. If it's something that sets up into like this pair, you could either do it lefty or just do normal F12. I would probably just do normal F12 because the big selling point of F2 Gen F prime isn't so much efficiency, it's just being able to do lots of pairs with righty dominant turning without sacrificing efficiency, and sometimes, occasionally, having better efficiency, but again, it's not a major selling point. So if you have something that easily sets up to like this kind of pair, don't bother with JSS. If you have something like this pair here, I wouldn't do something crazy like force a built pair like that and then try to do JSS. I would just solve the pair like normally. But if you have anything else, then as you can see, JSS seems to work out really, really well. Those are all completely random examples, and granted some of them were ridiculously lucky, but as you can see, this F2 Gen F prime stuff, if you know the FL cases, you know the algorithms, and you combine it with JSS, you can get some pretty ridiculous solves, potentially, although those are yet to be seen. But they will be, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe not. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Thank you for watching, thank you for learning about my new, great, proposed method named after yours truly. I hope it catches on, because then it's one more thing named after me. But I also hope it's good, and I hope it actually makes people faster, more importantly. But yeah, that's it. That's the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.